Thanks. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another special edition of the Talking Time Show. I had the pleasure today of having a special guest on the line, and she's from one of my favorite movies, Why Did I Get Married by Tyler Perry, Denise Boutte.
Woohoo! Hey, Mr. Taj, what's up?
Well, nothing much, man. Nothing much. I do appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time. Now, I want to talk to you before we get into, of course, the obvious, the Meet the Browns and Why Did I Get Married. I want to talk to you about Denise's dish. What's going on with Denise's dish?
Woohoo! Well, let me put it to you this way. Unlike Trina, Denise actually does throw down in the kitchen, okay? So Denise Boutte, one of my other passions, which only my close friends and family members know, is that I love to cook. Like, either put me in front of a camera or in front of the stove, and I am in heaven. Like, it's been just a part of me and ingrained in me since I was a kid. I'm from Louisiana, which, of course, most of you guys know is revered for having some of the tastiest cuisine in the world, in the nation, whatever you want to call it, right? And I am just, thank God, a product of a long legacy of amazing cooks. My mama, that's what we call our grandmother back home or whatever, was an amazing cook. My mother's sister, my mother, everyone, I was always brought up around this stuff. And, we had something back home or whatever called a boucherie. Okay, and a boucherie is where, you kind of like slaughter pig, cow, whatever it is, right? And the whole family gets together and you make a party out of it. And, everybody leaves or whatever. You pack up the meat, you make homemade sausage, you cook the cracklings, you make everything and, cut this stuff up or whatever so you have enough, meat to get you through winter. So a lot of times we didn't even go to, like, the local grocery stores and stuff because we kind of had, all the fruits and vegetables we needed or whatever that were grown on the farm that my grandparents had. So, I was always around this, but my love for cooking didn't actually come out until I moved to Dallas, Texas. Here I am. I just graduated from LSU, and, of course, cooking at home saves you quite a chunk of change, right? So, I'm trying to save a little money. I got some student loans to pay back. I'm doing my thing, right? So I'm calling my mom, and I'm like, Mom, how does my mom make such and such? And she didn't really have necessarily recipes for them. So I called my mom, I would call my nanny, and over the years, I started compiling these, like, amazing recipes, and some of which I kept authentic, the way that they gave them to me, and others I kind of put a healthier, spin on things. And so, needless to say, one day I was like, you know what, I'm going to write a cookbook. This is just like a way of immortalizing my mama and, paying homage or whatever to my family members. And, I was like, before I actually, focus on that, let me just introduce this side of myself to the world. And I started with Denise's dish. I was like, there's nothing more that could make me, happier than cooking and actually getting on camera and showing folks a different side to my personality, because all they've seen, for the most part, is me portraying these characters, and they don't know the real Denise. So it's very surprising to most folks who have seen me in film and on television that this is, part of who I am. So just another, side of who I am, throwing down, showing people, and sharing with them some of these recipes that are near and dear to my heart and my family, and just, just having fun.
Now, tell us, what is your favorite dish to cook? And did Tyler Perry allow you to cook on the set? I mean, we're going to find out how good the cooking really is, okay? So did he allow you to cook on the set? And what is your favorite dish to cook?
Okay, I will say that my signature dish, I guess I have two, okay? One of which I would say is my stuffed catfish. And my stuffed catfish is actually a seafood stuffing recipe that I turned into a stuffing recipe and also a sauce that goes on top of it. And when I tell you that this could win awards and knock people's socks off, I mean, it is just for some of the most critical of palates, this is one of the best dishes ever, right? The other dish that I love to throw down on is my crock pot red beans and rice. It's so simple. It's so fast. And when I tell you that the next morning you are like smelling up the whole neighborhood with goodness, that, if you got some neighbors you don't want to come over, you do not want to cook this dish, because it is so amazing and aromatic, and, with the smoked turkey leg and the smoked meats and the tasso and stuff. I mean, seriously, you put this bad boy on the night before and the next morning you got heaven in a pot. Like, it's off the chain. And I would say for dessert, and this is what Mr. Perry oftentimes requests that I overnight to him in Atlanta. Yes, sir. My pecan praline. Yep. That actually is Denise's dish episode number 1. My pecan pralines, that candy recipe has been in my family for I can't tell you how many years. And that's why I opened it up with apologizing to my mama, because I was like, okay, mama gonna kill me, but you know what? It's almost a sin to keep something this good to yourself. And so that is how I open things up, I guess you would say, with a bang, with a recipe that has been in my family for years. And, I tell people it's not what is in the pot. It's just 5 simple ingredients. It's the process. So I always like to say you can have 1,001 folks with the same recipe. The love and the care and the time, whatever that you put into that pot or whatever is going to have, an effect on how it comes out. And honestly, I've made those candies for every wrap party, as a thank you gift or whatever. I've, mailed them out to people. It's just, a representation of who I am, where I come from. And again, they're more like fudge is what I say. You don't taste sugar crystals and all that other mess or whatever. They're really smooth, really creamy. And so I have to go with the pecan pralines, or cone candy, as folks back home like to say.
Denise Boutte right here on Talk with Taj. Log on to her official website at www.deniseboutte.com. And that is, let me spell that big guy, Denise, Deniseboutte.com. And log on to YouTube, go to YouTube and type in Denise's Dish, and you will pick up her. Actually, there's a few videos up there right now of her lifting up some of her favorite dishes. Now, Denise's
very nice
dish.
job, by the way. I appreciate that. And you know what? You're one of the few people to actually pronounce my name right without me having to, help them out a little bit. So thank you very much.
You know what? I am smart enough to know that I'm not great with names. So what I did is I did the right thing, right? I went to YouTube and I typed in your name. And when I heard you say it, I just recited it to myself enough times to where I knew I had it. That's what we did.
Well, thank you so much, because I get everything. I get Boutte, of course I get Boutte. Like, it's just like off the chain. So thank you very much. I appreciate the research.
No, I actually saw an interview you did where somebody said your name right, and you was just so amazed. You was like, thank God for you got my name right. I appreciate it.
I'm telling you, I'm always floored when somebody gets it right. I mean, I know it's not the easiest name out there, so I actually have the expectation that they're going to get it wrong. But I'm serious, man. There's some folks that come out swinging like you, and I'm like, all right, I'm very impressed.
I have the same issue with my last name, and
really?
Yeah. If you look at my last name, I'm not going to tell you how to pronounce it. Just look at it after we get done on Twitter, and then you try to pronounce it and hit me, let me know. It's like, Taj, you know what? I understand.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and brush up on my hooked on phonics first, and then I'm going to go ahead and try.
So now with Denise's Dish, are you pushing? Is there a network you ready to pick that up? What's going on with that? Are you planning on putting that on TV network, or is this going to be just online show? What's the next move for Denise's Dish?
Well, you know what? My whole life has been a whole I would have never told you years ago when I was in high school that I was going to end up in Los Angeles and I was going to be an actress. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to get up off the farm, okay? Now in hindsight, I love and appreciate and realize how unique it was that I grew up or whatever on a farm. But, back in the day, I didn't see that, and just with my life, I kind of don't know where Denise's Dish is going to take me, but I'm so excited about the doors that it's already open. I could have never have predicted, some of the folks that I've heard from or whatever would have even been interested. For instance, I'm not sure if you are acquainted with a guy named Cupid. He's actually a local artist in Louisiana, and he does the Cupid Shuffle. And that's what he's known for, dance party music and stuff. And he and I actually used to work at the Gap together back in the day. And, we were dreaming, dude. We were folding them dang khakis and dreaming, right? And so anyway, he actually reached out to me and, he was like, you know what? Hey, niece, I see you've got, these videos out and stuff. Have you ever thought of doing some lighter recipes that can maybe go with this aerobic CD that I got? And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, heck yeah. I was like, I already talked about that in my head. I was like, it's called the lighter side of the dish. I was like, you know what? It's in my head, so let me put it on paper. So let's go ahead and do that. So he's talking about making that as an added bonus or whatever to his next DVD, and that's my whole thing. When the Spirit moves me and I just feel like a conviction to just kind of move in a certain direction, I just don't question it. I just go. And that's kind of how I've lived my life. That's, like I said, that's what brought me to Hollywood. I actually graduated from LSU with a degree in communication. So I went there to become a doctor or a lawyer. Because I didn't know what else actually existed. I actually finished up or whatever, because you can't shut me up, as you can tell, Taj. I actually went to school. I'm just confirming what you already know. So I was like, well, I can talk my behind off, man. So let's do this. I can make some money.
Oh, man, that's funny.
Yeah, let's do this, man. So I graduated with a degree in communications. Well, getting out as a beat reporter wasn't paying, the bills too well. So I got a job in advertising. So that took me to Dallas, right? And so one thing led to another, and, my clients kept wanting to put me in front of the camera, where that was not at all something that had crossed my mind. One thing led to another. I got an agent. Then I got an offer from a manager for representation in play. And needless to say, I'm loading up the truck and I'm moving, not quite to Beverly, but I'm moving to L.A. Like, it's just, I'm the kind of person, when the Spirit moves me, I just go with the flow. So what I said was, instead of waiting for the cookbook to actually be finished and polished the way that I want it, because this is a representation of me, of my family, I got a little perfectionism, going on. So I was like, stop pushing it, and why wait? Put something out there. Let folks know, this other layer to the core of, your personality. So that's where the Denise's Dish thing came from. I was like, I don't want to wait for the cookbook. Let me go ahead, and put myself on camera. I talked it over with a girlfriend of mine named Braylon. She knew a cameraman, and lo and behold, dude, like less than a month later, here we are, we shooting in my kitchen. I mean, and it just, it was effortless, because it just felt so right and so fun. So, I'm tweeting the Food Network. I'm tweeting Cooking TV and letting them know, that I'm out here and, I'm competing and I have a personality to shine. And, my whole thing is, there is no one on those networks that looks like me. Just keeping it real.
All right.
And Louisiana, is, like I said, world-renowned for their cuisine, and I don't see that being represented on those networks right now. So if they want a real deal, authentic, Louisiana chick to represent and throw down and show them the authentic way to execute our recipes, I'm right here, baby.